Howdy folks, welcome to episode 30 of Bonfire Man. Here's how Bonfire Man works. I'm locked to specific chunks in the game. I have to interact with everything in my unlocked chunks exactly once. So that means every tree needs to be chopped, every enemy needs to die, every resource needs to be consumed. When I interact with something, it is exhausted. When something is exhausted, that means I'm not allowed to interact with it again. I'm allowed to randomly unlock a new chunk whenever all of the entities in my current chunks have been so exhausted. When I enter a new chunk, I rest at a bonfire, as in the Souls games. Resting at a bonfire refreshes or unexhausts all of the content in previous chunks that I've already been to. Now I have to exhaust all entities in both the old and new chunks to continue to progress. My objective is to unlock every chunk in RuneScape. According to my estimates, I think that's going to take about 10,000 hours to complete. If you're interested in all the specifics, minutia, minor rules, exceptions, that kind of a thing, there's a Google Doc in the description that lists all of that. Let's go ahead and get to the playthrough. Okay, so this was going to be an extremely exciting chunk, but turns out it's not. As you can see, the chunk I'm just about to unlock here gives us access to the Dwarven Mine, the Body Altar, Keldagrim, the Mining Guild, and the Motherlode Mine, but not really. Because technically I need access to the monastery back here to climb up the ramp. You can just barely see it at the edge of the draw distance there to get into the Dwarven Mine and all this other stuff. So this is all just inaccessible. I went ahead and added it anyway because that is the order that it's going to be in once I can finally unlock it. I can do the Body Altar. I can kill some of these dwarves, like none of these guards, and probably only cut a handful of these trees. So not the most exciting, unfortunately, but it makes the monastery chunk more exciting to actually roll now that we can, really get to it. It gets us closer to Falador and Taverley. I really want to get as close to Taverley as possible so we can unlock Herblore. So I'm still not mad about it, but it kind of continues our trend right now of a somewhat boring initial chunk. But let's go ahead and cross the fog wall and light the bonfire. Having this chunk unlocked is going to be nice because it's incredibly annoying to kill the barbarians that get stuck over here. They'll often walk around this wall and get stuck in these tiles, and I just have to hop until I'm able to hit them. Anyway, let's cross the fog wall. Right, and let's light the bonfire. The dwarves won't be happy if you light a fire here. Anywhere? Oh, am I going to get saved by it? Probably not. There's got to be somewhere where I'm allowed to light a fire in this chunk, right? Oh, wow. Is my stupid duel arena rule going to pay off? There's got to be somewhere where I can light it, right? That's like the best of all possible worlds. But I assume that still counts. I'm not sure. I guess maybe the whole point is that it's like close to their cannon, so it would be dangerous or something. It doesn't look like I can light a fire anywhere in this chunk. Oh, I guess I can sneak down here. I don't think I realized this. Yeah, because I have this part unlocked. So let's see what all I can get to. If there's any question about being able to do the grapple shortcut, I should be able to reach that now. I'm still working on getting my level high enough. I still can't do it down here. Praise be, potentially, to the dwarves for blocking bonfires here. Gone from being quite sad to potentially getting to do another chunk roll here. Yeah, man, no part of the chunk permits me to light a bonfire. I'd actually be curious if once we get Falador, if I'm able to light one in that corner there. Probably not. I think it's entirely chunk based. Okay. I think that also means the monastery is the same because the monastery had the same text. But I'm not sure about it being blocked in the entire chunk, so I'm not going to mark it as a reroll chunk. Let me just dip in here really fast to make sure I'm not missing anything. No, we cannot light a bonfire here. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to do everything I can in the chunk, and then we'll roll another one. Before I do that, well, I have this lamp. I need to use it. I need to go do the agility course, but if I haven't lit the bonfire, then I haven't gotten the ability back to go and do agility stuff. So I got to clear the chunk first. So I'm going to quickly grab an axe, and we're going to chop all these trees and make a body rune and all that. Gives me flashbacks to safe spotting dwarves. I think was my first Slayer task that I got ever when I played this game on stream for the first time forever ago. Maybe I was safe spotting them. They're like level 10. Dwarves are all dead. Still working my way through everything else. I think I can actually get to most of the trees here because the part I can't get to is this corner, and there's just the one tree that I can't reach, so I won't be able to mark the chunk complete, but damn close whenever we roll Monastery. I'm actually going to log into my main here in a second. I want to go see if the Monastery chunk is also no fires. Well, I was going to say, because then I've technically already rolled it, but I've already made the decision that since I only had access to a sliver of the tile, it shouldn't have been in my list of rollable chunks in the first place. We're not gonna double dip on that rule. I will have to roll it again, get in there now that we can actually get there. Okay, I'm done chopping everything here. Guess I'm gonna go make these body runes, and I'm gonna roll another chunk. That means I'll get to do the body runes effectively twice in a row because this is my first time seeing it. I exhaust it once. And then we're going to light the bonfire on whatever the next chunk is, and it will come back along with everything else here. I guess this is unusual because with the dual arena, we applied the rule I can't light a bonfire, so I can't reset anything. But there also happened to be nothing to do in that chunk. In this chunk, there is stuff to do. So I did all of it, and then when I rest the bonfire, this is all going to get wiped out again. So I'm going to cut these trees and kill those 4 dwarves again. I should mark what's blocked here. I'll start by making a bunch of body tiaras. I can make as many of those as I want because I'm so limited by talismans. Yeah, 20 body talismans. I think these are primarily from guards, so it's kind of cool to get to use these finally after all this time. Okay, this is what the body altar looks like. Let's make some tiaras. Cool. First ever body tiara. Pretty neat looking. Make the rest of these. I'm gonna save one regular body talisman just in case. I don't think it shows up in any like quests or anything like that, but it occurs to me that it may be possible to light fires in the body altar, but I don't think we want to open ourselves to that level of additional complexity. Like if it's that you can light a bonfire in any of the connected chunks, if you start trying to include that for like, what if you can light a bonfire in an underground part of the chunk that you can't access when you unlock it? No, if you can't light fires on the surface chunk, it's rerollable. I think that's completely fine. Might be fun to come down here and just test it though. Maybe I'll do that once we reroll. Solid 712 runecraft XP. I was looking forward to being able to make a bunch of body tiaras, but it turns out it doesn't really count for very much at all. I'm going to craft one set of body runes here, and then we'll roll the new chunk. Okay, here comes our first ever crafted body runes on the account. Terrible XP. Absolutely horrible. Still not quite 36, but that's our last task here. Yeah, we are done. Gonna roll a new chunk because I can't light a bonfire. Pull up the chunk roller here in a second. I'm also gonna wipe out all of this stuff. I'm gonna do a full reset. I guess I'll keep the XP tracker. We'll count that as XP towards the next cycle. But I gotta clear all these markers and stuff. Yeah, there's the total XP. 1775 woodcutting, 915 runecraft, 260 strength. This is all going to carry over into the next cycle. I'm not going to reset all my XP. Okay, back in the chunk picker where it's getting increasingly difficult to show you everything I can roll in one view. Nothing's changed here other than this is a crown chunk. I want it as much as into the abyss because then we can get into the Dwarven mine, and there's an enormous amount of content in there. Because it's also Keldegrim, and it's also the Mining Guild, and it's also Motherlode Mine. So I would love to get the Monastery. Lets us do Wise Old Man tasks. This would be sick. This is a general thumbs up. I won't be able to clear it because there's like both Below Ice Mountain and Doric's quest start here. I can do Doric's quest, but not Below Ice Mountain. But it's a thumbs up because it gets us closer to Taverley, it gets us closer to Falador, and I wouldn't hate rolling it. Everything else you just heard me talk about end of last episode, so let's go ahead and pick the chunk. No whammies. Now it's going to give me like the dig site or something stupid. I think this is I get there via flying carpet, right? Okay. Well, it's not a reroll because the Bedabin Nomad fighters are new. Also, I think there's a quest here that I can't start, right? Oh, Desert Treasure. Yeah. Yeah, this is kind of a sucky roll, but that's okay. I mean, I guess I put it as a thumbs up, maybe just so I could get deeper. Oh, maybe because it's proximity to other stuff and it's required for some quest progression. Yeah, tourist trap. I really just need to roll desert mining camp now, and then I can do tourist trap, and that's actually a pretty cool unlock for the account. A little boring, but still cool to have gotten another one unlocked. Give me a minute to get this set up, and we'll head over there and cross the fog wall via flying carpet, and then light the bonfire. I'll see you soon. All right, let's try this again. I'm going to go talk to the rug merchant, pay for a ride to the Bedouin camp, cross the fog wall, and light the bonfire. Not a lot there. 6 Bedouin nomads, 10 wolves, 2 Ugthonkis. Probably argue that I've done it before because I've killed desert wolves and Ugthonkis before. I haven't killed Bedouin nomads, but they have the same drop. There's a bunch of NPCs in this game that basically have an identical drop table to a normal man or woman, and we can't anyway because desert treasure starts there, and I can't do desert treasure, so this is not a completable chunk. All right, paying for the Bedouin camp here. See how we do the fog wall. So I can try waiting to add this. I'm going to cross through some inaccessible chunks, but this is basically teleporting. I assume it gives me music unlocks for going through the chunk boundaries, unfortunately. Oh, maybe not. Maybe there's no new music here. That's also possible. This feels dirty. I feel like I should disallow this, but I don't know. It's a transport method. I think it's just kind of an interesting flavor choice that you technically physically cross over the other chunks en route. We get a new music track for landing here, so yeah, I don't think that we flew over the surface. Okay, yeah, new chunk. Let's see. Let's light the bonfire. I can do. Cool, and let's rest at it. All right, here we go. New cycle, for real this time. Hey, it's time for the episode objectives overview. You can skip to the next time code if you're not interested in seeing this. We're just going to go over what the state of the game world is. So looking first at 100% completed chunks. These are chunks in which we've exhausted everything at least once. The reason that we care about tracking these chunks is that I get to do more things in them. I get to deplete more skilling nodes to kind of counterbalance issues with some of the skills in this game. I've gone over all the nodes that I can deplete that you can see on the screen in previous episodes. The one I want to talk about, though, is guards. It's very likely that I'll finally hit 40 thieving in this episode. Doing so is going to let me complete a handful of chunks that have guards in them. And that means that starting next episode, I'm going to be able to deplete guards, meaning I'm going to be able to pickpocket them 28 times each. Only in those newly 100% completed chunks, of course, but that's still a pretty significant bump in thieving XP per cycle. This is an exciting breakpoint to finally be hitting after all this time. So those are our 100% completed chunks. Let's look at chunks that are blocked from being completed. First, we've got quest blocked chunks. We can't complete these because quests start there and we're not able to do the quest. Most of these we've already talked about, but the new one is the chunk we just unlocked. Technically, Desert Treasure starts here in the Bedouin camp, so I don't think we're going to be doing Desert Treasure for thousands of hours. I'm going to be killing the Ugthonkis, wolves, and Bedouin fighters in this camp for a very long time. After that, we've got skill-blocked chunks. These are the same as previous episodes. Again, construction, we're not going to get to 82 for a master stash, probably ever. Mining is actually quite possible. When we get to 55 mining, we can finish the Soul Wars mine chunk. Soul Wars mine has a shooting star in it, so that would be a huge upgrade if we're able to do that. And as I just mentioned, all these chunks that have a thieving icon on them have guards. And if we can pickpocket those guards, that blows this whole thing wide open. Way more thieving XP per cycle, lots of new opportunities, and 100% completed chunks. So yeah, I'm hoping that this map is going to change significantly into next episode. After that, we have item-blocked chunks. There are 2 of these right now. In the top right, we've got What Lies Below in the Southeast Varrock Mine chunk. This is technically a quest block chunk, but we can do everything in the quest except we need a Chaos Talisman to progress. So as soon as a Chaos Talisman drops, either from unlocking it in a new chunk or getting it from the rare drop table in an underground area, we'll finally be able to finish that and 100% this chunk. There's another shooting star there, so that's another important one to 100%. Way more mining XP per cycle if we do. And then the Soul Wars Hunter chunk in the southwest corner, we need a bird snare for that. Not a really important one to complete, but it would be nice. And now chunk block chunks, we have 2 of them, up from 1. The Soul Wars lobby is still unable to be completed because there's some trees on the east side that we can't chop yet. And the new one is the Asgarnian Road chunk. Since we can't get up on the ramp area where the entrance to the Dwarven mine is, we can't kill the extra dwarves that are up there or the black guards or chop the one tree that's up on the hill. So we can unlock either the chunk to the north or to the south to complete that. If we get into Falador, we can go through the Dwarven mine and then pop out on the other side and then complete the chunk. Or if we unlock Edgeville Monastery, we can come in from the north and do the same thing. And that's it for the chunk overview. Let's go ahead and get back to the playthrough. I'm going to go ahead and buy out the Bedabin Nomad shop. I can only do it once because I can't do Desert Treasure, but I'll always take more bowls. All right, I'm on my last wolf here. This sucks. It's just all that's here. That's okay, though. At least I got to roll 2 chunks. I did pick up some buckets of water and water jugs and then sold them, so I wouldn't have to come back here since it cost me 200 coins to come back every time. Since I can't clear this chunk, I am going to have to kill all of these guys every cycle from now on until we do Desert Treasure in, 2058. I gotta use this lamp. So I'm gonna minigame teleport out of here. Normally, I would never consider the Skull Scepter a shortcut to Draenor, but I can run through the Draenor Manor. It's actually not that far of a run. Hopefully, we can get at least 2 laps in before the Mark of Grace spawns here. That should be enough to get the agility level, and then I can use this lamp on agility for a little bit more XP. So for what it's worth, it was about 30 minutes to do both all of Asgarnian Road and Bedabin Camp. So now we're on the 30-hour journey to doing the rest of the backlog here. Here's agility 25. I'm actually going to see how long I go before using the lamp, because it could be a while before the Mark of Grace spawns. I feel like now that I've said that, it's going to spawn on the next lap, but we'll see. I love some of the weird incentives this creates, where a zone bizarrely not supporting fire lighting due to weird 2007 era or earlier code saves me 30 hours of time. And here, I really don't want the Mark of Grace to spawn for as long as possible. Well, we've done 3 laps so far, and it hasn't spawned yet. So that's pretty good. I think we tend to see it spawn on the 2nd or 3rd, so I don't think we're going to be able to do enough laps here combined with the monkey bars and Al-Kharid to be able to use the lamp on an even higher agility level than 25, but I figure I may as well test it before I give up. Oh my god, this is the luckiest I've ever been. It's 4 laps so far. Still no Mark of Grace spawn. I knew that couldn't last forever. We did 5 laps. This is lap number 6. There's the Mark of Grace, so guess I can do the calculation on whether it's possible for me to hit it without the lamp. Yeah, the monkey bars under Edgeville are 40 XP plus 180 from the Al-Kharid rooftop course. It's not going to be enough, so I'm going to go ahead and use the lamp here. That does mean that Al-Kharid will get me the level, which I should go ahead and knock out in case I get another lamp. Then I'll be able to use that at 26 instead, so that'd be cool. Heading to Al-Kharid. No, I've been doing so well with having the Irrit Leaf on me all the time, but should have thought about it. Oh well. There's 26 agility. 1 more level and I can boost to do the Varrock rooftop course, which I feel like that's less valuable now because, previously doing the 1 lap would be enough XP to get me a whole level, but I don't even think a single lap of the Varrock course is going to get me much of a fraction of a level, to be honest. Well, I guess I'll end up deciding if I want to spend the agility potion on that or not. It's like Varrock rooftop is 238 XP. Like a quarter of the level right now at 26, so we'll see. I don't know if that's going to be worth it. Maybe I'll keep it in my pocket if it's going to result in me getting a level up. Like if using a single dose of the agility potion is going to guarantee that I'll get 1 more level up so that my next XP random counts for more, but I might not do it every cycle because I feel like those potion doses are pretty precious here. All right, I'm going to start working on wood cutting here shortly, but I went ahead and grabbed my willow branches, so I shouldn't need any more of these ever. I have enough for both the diary step and enlightened journey. So may as well go do the diary step real quick in one of my unlocked chunks. All right, diary step is to make a baskets. That's a drift net. I was curious if it was a big net. Let's make a basket. Jesus. Absurd amount of work for an item that you can buy trivially from the NPC right next to it. Medium task in the Falador area. Cool. All right, let's start wood cutting. Harvesting the strawberries I planted last cycle. I'm just going to plant some more strawberries here. I brought some baskets to protect them. Oh my god, I got another genie. What is happening? Why am I so lucky with this lately? I guess I'll just go ahead and use that because I'm nowhere near a level up. Look at these genies. Just blessed. Okay, plopping it on agility here. Axe, 260 XP. Okay. We might get another level up next cycle, we'll see. All right, harvesting the strawberries that I planted this cycle this time. I'm gonna do it in the same cycle now. I think I'm about to get a farming level. Farming 33. Banana trees. It would be really great to get a fruit tree. Oh my god, my maze luck is getting better. This is the third maze I've gotten recently. Yeah, these two were both also a maze random. Screw you, mime random. Alright, what we get? 880 iron arrows, 146 death runes. Amazing. Hey, we got a Jekyll random, and I have the Irrit Leaf on me. Beautiful. I still have one more to turn in, so I'll keep carrying one on me, but lucky to see that again so soon after I missed one. Okay, all of the wood cutting is done for the cycle. That's a really long time. It's like 6.5 hours. I guess an hour of that was just getting set up on the new chunks, but still 5.5 hours for wood cutting to get 71k XP. Not great. All right, that's mining 54, one more level, and we can mine Mithril, which maybe will be possible. It's going to be pushing it, depending on how the shooting star goes this cycle. All right, first Soul Wars was 41 zeal. Go right back in. Should be able to clear it with one more. Oh, that was terrible. 19 zeal that time. That just did not go well for me. But that also is exactly 60. Yeah, 41 plus 19, unfortunately. So, go ahead and get my spoils of war and move on. All right, I got my 2 spoils of war. 187 coal is good. Not as good, but still decent. Right on. We will use that coal for sure. Gotta be kidding me. How does this keep happening? Insanely lucky. I don't understand it. Look at all these genies. I think I'm just gonna throw it on agility. No reason to save it. I'm still pretty early in my cycle here. I got this down to a tier 5 star. Thank you again to S. Joel for saving my bacon here. Hopefully I can get some editing done the next 2 hours of AFK. Hey, there's 55 mining. You can now mine Mithril. That's actually a big deal. That's going to let us complete the Soul Isle mine chunk, I think. Yeah, the only thing I had there that it couldn't do was Mithril because there's no adamantite. So let me skip a whole bunch of trees, which is great. I'll do that after this, obviously. All right, we just got downgraded to tier 3. We started at tier 5. No one else has showed up yet. I've been here for like an hour or so. Hopefully I'll be able to get T3 all the way down. I'm almost done editing the video I'm working on, so this is great. If I can get one of these once per cycle, I can try to keep pace with editing. All right, the star just disintegrated. That took 2 hours. So I got the maximum amount out of it from tier 5 down almost to tier 2. 984 stardust. Looking pretty good on mining XP, but note that's still way less. I'm going to take this opportunity to go... I'm going to search for mithril places and see what I can clear with it. Yeah, I can finish the Soul Isle mine. I have to pick up the chisel there, technically. Everywhere else that has mithril also has adamantite, so it's only the Soul Isle mine that I can actually complete, but that's still pretty cool. Teleport there now. All right, here's the chisel, so I can mark the item pickup done. I should add here on the task list, these 57 trees are just the trees that are truly accessible in the chunk. It's not that that's the only ones I can do. I just need to change the name of my task from tree 82 to tree 57 because everything else is blocked off. I am able to do everything on the east and west edges of this chunk right now. There's not like a hidden tree back here that I can't get to. I can actually touch all those. This will, in fact, be 100% complete. Mark the item done for picking up the chisel, and I just have to mine these 2 mithril now. There is our first ever mithril ore mine on the account. Just gotta get this other one, and then this chunk is complete finally. And there it is. Victory achieved. We'll start this guy. I'm still gonna do almost everything in this chunk. I'll probably skip the bird and the 57 trees, but we'll do all this mining every time. Nice. I guess I'll go ahead and do a tour and just hit all the other mithril nodes that I haven't done yet. Apparently there is a star that can spawn in the Isle of Souls mine, so completing that chunk is actually a huge deal. Now I can do 2 shooting stars per cycle, which is, 4 hours. It's going to pretty significantly inflate the time it takes me to clear stuff, but I need that XP and I desperately need that AFK, so I will 100% be doing that. I can't do it this cycle. I think my rule is that once I 100% complete a chunk, I can't start taking advantage of depletion until the following cycle, so we'll do that next time. All right, Lumbridge Swamp West is done. There's technically a shooting star over there, but I'm not going to bother tapping it once. I'm going to head over to Alkareed Mine, and then we're done with mining and woodcutting and can move on to PVM. Actually, this wasn't the case before, but I now have so many other skilling activities like fishing and thieving that I might want to do all of those and just have all the PVM happen at once. So I think I'm going to take care of everything else that's not PVM. I'm going to do thieving because I think we're going to hit 40, which is going to change a bunch of things for next cycle. We'll do fishing. We'll mine pure essence because I haven't done that yet. On my second of 3 harpoon nodes over here, I'm about to get a fishing level whenever it decides to... well, of course, the node depleted at that instant. 1 second. I just have to keep track of this manually since they're already marked from when I did the lobster cages. All right, there it is. 43 fishing. Okay, here comes one of the most important level ups on the entire account. This is going to be level 40 thieving, which is going to let us pickpocket guards, which is going to potentially unlock the ability to complete a couple chunks around Varrock. It's been a really long time coming. There it is. Now pickpocket city guards. Thank God. Total level 1075. That's neat. I'm still here because I'm tapping. This is one of my completed chunks, so I can pickpocket her another 6 times. All right, even with my rule change, it took us 19 days and 8 hours of playtime to be able to pickpocket a guard, but this is my first time doing it. Hopefully it'll just work. I'm not going to get stunned a bunch of times. Hey, 47 XP. So I can only do that 43 times this cycle. There are 43 guards total across all of my chunks, but I'll report back if doing so will allow me to complete the chunk. I think there's a couple where that is going to be the case. Okay, I have finished killing all of the guards and pickpocketing all of the guards. So I've marked all those tasks complete. I think it's 2 chunks that I can finish. Maybe 3, actually. Edgeville is 1. Just confirm, because it seemed like maybe I forgot something, but no, I think Edgeville can do all this. I have to kill these giant spiders, these rats, pick up the items, pick up the nettles, kill the outlaws and the imps, and then Edgeville will be done. I want to say West Varrock. I have to do a single task from Romilly here, which, if I remember when I picked it up previously, is a it's like I have to make mud pies. So I'm coming over here to check exactly what it is. And I think maybe Varrock Southgate. Should be able to do everything in Varrock Southgate. I'm going to try to quadruple check the chunk picker to make sure I'm not missing some quest or something that would make it impossible. But I'm going to start working on this now. Just confirming that Romilly wants, what? 27 mud pies. Okay. Fortunately, I can actually do that now because I have access to the shop to get tons of compost. I think it's compost and soft clay. Ooh, it's regular clay. I'm glad I didn't like randomly turn all of my regular clay into soft clay at some point. Okay. I will go to Lumbridge and do that. It looks like you can burn a mud pie, but I might be okay. No, it's possible I'm going to burn it, even in Lumbridge. Yeah, my cooking level is like 56, and you don't stop burning it until 63. I've ever actually made multiple pots of flour before. I need this for my mud pies, because I can't buy these yet. And it's really slow. Okay, so this whole situation with mud pies is more dire than I thought, because it requires pie dishes. And I can't buy pie dishes yet. I can only get, there's a single spawn in the Cook's Guild that I've been getting every cycle since it unlocked. And there's a single spawn in Varrock Palace that I think I've gotten most cycles since it unlocked. May have missed it a couple times. So the short version is that I only have so many pie dishes to work with. I decided to see if I could train cooking up a little bit further, just to try to reduce the chance of burning. But I have 36 pie shells and I need 27 mud pies. So this is more than a little dangerous. I don't have enough stews or other... No, I might be able to cook some other stuff. I'm going to see if I can find something that is at 0% burn rate. Actually, it looks like salmon, trout, pike, and herrings are all safe to cook. So I'm going to just cook all of those now. There's cooking 57. I'm just going to try to go as far as I possibly can here with all of my raw food that I know I can't burn. Here comes 58 cooking. That's probably as far as I can go with things that are safe from burning for now. Pita bread. Okay. So I'm still a few levels below the protection from burning threshold. I'm just going to go ahead and try to make these mud pies here. I need to make 27. I have 36 pie shells, so a little bit of tolerance of burning. Not as much as I'd like. I think there's one more pie shell I could pick up. Maybe I could eat some pies to get pie shells too. I could eat these meat pies, for example. Oh, each mud pie actually gives a bunch of XP. 128. Not worth all the time and resources that go into making them, but I'm surprised. I guess I was stressed out for no reason. I forgot that you can just empty the pie dish of the burnt pies. Okay. So I'm not in trouble like I thought it was. It's fine. I just got a couple extra cooking levels. All right, I've got my 27 mud pies. I'm gonna go turn these in. Probably will not do another task for this guy for a while. I only need to do the one to clear the chunk. But it is repeatable, technically. Okay, I'm here with the pies, turning them in. I got those pies you wanted. It's pitiful payment for it, but, you know, 1,800 coins, I'll take it. We have done a Romilly task. Now I just need to kill the one imp that spawns in here. I did all the pickups already. And then we can mark this one complete. I said I picked everything up, but I didn't get these Dougal leaves, so I'm going to get those. I'm also going to go in all the houses and make sure there's not something I'm forgetting about. These are useless, I think, after the Gertrude's Cat quest. But still. Gertrude's Cat is complete, which is the only reason I'm going to be able to finish this chunk. And this imp is hiding out. Alright, there it is. Victory achieved. West Varrock is complete. While I'm here, I'm going to kill these thieves. They technically spawn down here and wander up into this chunk. It's going to be nice. It gets me 6 extra oaks to deplete, and I get to skip 61 regular trees. Oh, and notably, I get 6 guards that I can pick their pocket 28 times each, so that's a pretty huge increase in eating XP per cycle. Very excited to not have to kill this weapon master every cycle. It's a waste of time. I have to remember to get this key and climb up here. He only drops bones. I kill him every cycle. Get to say goodbye to the weapon master finally. Pick up all these items too, since they count as spawns. Go ahead and pet this dog, possibly for the last time. Alright, sheep are done. I gotta go find the 2 imps in South Varrock, and then I need to collect this 268 wheat one more time. Not looking forward to that, although now I can run it to the bank in Varrock, which will be a little bit faster. So this is decidedly less miserable than it was last time, because bank is way closer, but it still sucks, and I'll be happy to leave it behind me permanently. Okay, I'm finally almost done. It took many trips, but these are the last 2 wheat I need to pick up here. And victory achieved. Ooh, man. Alright, I'm probably going to end up skipping a lot of these. I'm going to skip the mugger, skip the rams, skip all the regular trees, obviously. Weapon master, the thieves. I'll probably still kill the dark wizards. That goblin is a level 5 goblin, which has a much worse drop table. It doesn't drop air talismans, so I will probably skip it if I can. Yeah, that's another one complete. We got one more that I think I can do now that I can pickpocket guards. Find it. I've trained my brain to not see these spiders and rats, but I gotta kill all of the critters in order to declare the chunk complete. Oh, can I not open this door? There's a rat in there. Is a targetable rat. I'm gonna have to think about this. This is... Alright, folks, I have some extremely bad, disappointing news. I can't finish Edgeville. I already knew about Lucian in here. You can't kill him more than once, so he's not exhaustible. He drops nothing, and you can even do Temple of Ikov in such a way that you don't attack him. But I wasn't planning to include Lucian in the first place, which is fine. The problem is there are 3 rats in this room, and I can't get in there until Temple of Ikov. I've actually sat here for a while discussing with my council of advisors, Chaos, Game Saucer, and Trock, trying to figure out if there's some way that I can argue that this is fine, because it's like 3 critters in the room that I would be skipping anyway. But I don't think I can skip it. You know, I try not to torture myself with this account too much. This is not an extreme one-chunk Iron Man, but I don't think there's a way that I can argue that I should be able to skip this and maintain the account integrity. So we will not be finishing Edgeville because of these 3 goddamn rats. If and when I finish Temple of Ikov, I will be able to do it. So my council is actually recommending an extremely silly Hail Mary, where I try to retribution them by getting my health low and then having these outlaws kill me. Because the wall doesn't actually represent a whole tile. I can try it. All right, Chaos is going to try to kill me with a bow while I have the rat trapped with my main account. I don't think this is going to work. PvP world, we're going to give it a try, though. No, level difference. All right, so I ran over to the Lumbered Swamp Cave and got myself poisoned by a cave crawler to try this retribution thing. Not holding my breath on it, but it would be really cool if it does. Okay, next tick's going to kill me. I'm going to give this a try. If this works, this would be absolutely incredible and supremely stupid, but I have a feeling it's not going to work through the wall. We'll see here. Please, please, please. Ah, bummer. Didn't work. So sad. Came back and no dice. It's nice that you can actually proc retribution through poison damage. I barely qualify for retribution, so it would have been cool if it worked. Chaos Factor and I have tried everything to make these rats die by my hand, and it's just not possible until I can get in there. So I can't complete Edgeville until we do Temple of Ikov, which is probably like 1,000 hours away. That blows. I'm gonna go kill these imps at least to finish out the chunk, and then we'll just go back to regularly clearing the cycle. Womp womp. Really invested in reducing the attention I have to pay to this kind of thing. I've always had to like flick against catoblepins and onkos, but I was just able to do catoblepins by wearing my full outfit and bringing some pikes with me to eat. Like 16 pikes got me through 26 catoblepins and 9 onkos. So I'm going to try to burn through some food. I mean, I have it. I may as well. Lets me get some work done. Sort of AFK the onkos. And I went to all that trouble to get the ectoplasmator. I keep forgetting to bring it here to onkos. I'm not quite done. I'm going to pop out. I need to get more food anyway. But I'll use it for the last handful of kills here. Absolutely shredding the zombie down here. This guy used to take me several minutes, and I just hit him way harder now. And 5 cosmic runes. That's one of the better drops I've gotten from this guy. He's not been as exciting as I thought he was going to be based on his loot table. I don't know if I've just been profoundly unlucky, but generally don't get anything good from him. All right, that wraps the Stronghold of Security. This ghost is supposed to remind me to bring the ectoplasmator. I'll try to actually look at it next time. Did miss out on some XP as a result. I'm going to keep working on PVM stuff. I still have a couple thieving tasks to do. I still need to steal from regular farmers. After getting the guards done, I kind of lost a little bit of steam. But the next thieving objective I'm really caring about is 45, so that we can do the Autumn Garden. I just got my first ever loop half of key over here on Moss Giants. Now make my first crystal key, which probably can't use for a while, but Taverley is something I really want to unlock, so we'll go ahead and combine those here soon. I also got a steel kite shield, which is going to be quite nice for Giant's Foundry later. EVM continues. We got a lot of tasks to work through here. All right, making body runes, since this did come back. It's runecraft 36, nothing. Farming 34. Harvesting the onions right now. About to hit 41 thieving. I was able to trap this farmer over here. Okay. 4 more levels to go is the next big exciting threshold. Need to finish tapping out all of the farmers that I can pickpocket in completed chunks. All right, we're about to hit 49 prayer. Redemption. I think that's the last one I'll really use. I mean, obviously, Chivalry and Piety are great, but I don't think I'm going to be seeing them for an extremely long time, so... I don't know when I would use this, but it's conceivable that I might. Oh my god, 71 strength. This is a really important level. And finally, again, switch back to attack and then defense. You know, I think it's generally recommended to take strength almost all the way to 99 and only ever train on low defense enemies, but I don't have that option, so my attack needs to be higher for some of these high defense enemies that I have to deal with. So we're going to be taking attack probably to 64, and then I'll do defense. If you don't recall, the reason for that is that after I got the Adamant Scimitar drop, it changed the math on when I'd be able to be on attack and still have my max hit. So it took a really long time to get there, multiple cycles, but finally up to 71, and I'm excited to be training attack again. Still working on PVM here. I don't really need to do Sour Hogs anymore. I have all of their interesting drops, but I guess I'm going to anyway. And they drop herbs and seeds. And the rare drop table. I should still do it. Oof, God. 3 Rick Turpentines in a row. This is my punishment for all those genies before. I've been holding on to this Irrit Leaf the whole time. Really trying to clear it out. It's my last Irrit Leaf. I'd love to get that last agility potion and then not have to think about it anymore. Just hit 66 hit points. Hit points levels are really slow now. Hey, it's Dr. Jekyll. How lovely. Sitting on that for a while, and now I don't need to use up inventory space anymore. That's 3 agility potions. That's enough that I'll probably actually go ahead and boost into the Varrock agility course. Very nice. These 3 beautiful full agility potions. It's 12 doses. That's fantastic. I'm out of clean air it leaves, so I don't need to feel bad about carrying other things around now. Okie doke, I'm at the end of the cycle. Gotta clear up these hill giants and then do a bunch of Giants Foundry. I do have a ton of mithril I was able to make because of all of that coal we got from Soul Wars earlier. 187 coal, yeah. Should be enough. Oh, that steel scimitar is nice. Should be enough to make a lot of swords. Kind of screwed on bronze bars right now. I discussed this a little bit further with RuneScape Wiki Discord folks. Trying to figure out the best way to use Giants Foundry given that I have a limited number of bars per cycle. And I think that the problem is coal. The problem is that coal is used for everything, right? Mithril ore is useless to me without coal, but iron ore is not useless to me without coal. I can use a ring of foraging and turn it into iron bars. So I think primarily what I'm going to be doing is mithril plus iron alloys, which aren't too bad. The problem is that leaves me with bronze that I have nothing to do with, and it doesn't seem super worth making a pure bronze sword. I guess it's not completely terrible, because when you make a pure bronze sword, you get a ton of extra quality from the mold, right? And if you've bought a bunch of extra molds, it can make up the difference, I suppose. But it really sucks making a 28 bronze sword. We know that it's never correct to make more than 3 metals in the alloy. So we're going to avoid doing that. I might be able to mix a couple like steel items into the bronze swords just to help a little bit. Maybe I can look at the table and figure out how best to do that if I only have a little bit of steel to go around, you know? Yeah, so looking it up, if I need to make a mostly pure bronze sword but throw some steel in there, I think the way to go is to use anywhere between 2 and 3 steel bar equivalents, because that's the most optimal steel bars per extra quality thrown onto the mostly pure bronze. So yeah, I'm actually gonna, now that I have this rune square shield, I'm gonna turn my mithril square shield in so I can get 56 mithril bars. So I can do 14, 14. We'll do that 4 times. We'll get 4 mithril iron swords. That'll leave me with a little bit of iron left over to make bronze iron, maybe like once with other items. Then I'm going to try to just mix a very small amount of extra bars into the remaining alloys to try to maximize sword count and quality. All right, first sword, 7,380 smithing XP, 14,000 coins, pretty good. Sword number 2, 7380, yeah. Seems about standard for mithril plus iron. This should be 63 smithing? Yeah. Shadesian supply plate bodies, okay. I don't think I have any exciting smithing thresholds until like 69. The funny number. That's the next time I can buy something as a needlepoint. And it's actually really good, the needlepoint mold, but it's a very long ways away. I guess it was lag or something, but I made my second ever mistake on the account here. I hate it. It feels so bad to do. I think it's unrecoverable too when it happens. All of my molds today. I had one mold that was okay. It was higher than 2222, but they've all been pretty bad other than that. Okay, so I think if I'm going to use any steel, using 3 steel in combination with bronze is the most like quality dense way to do it. So I'm going to take a steel kite shield and that steel scimitar. I have exactly enough to get to 3. That's quite nice. And then we'll build the rest of it out of bronze. All right, so my bronze sword with 3 steel ended up being 3,900 smithing XP and 7,800 coins, which isn't too bad. So I think this is going to be the strategy. If I get coal from Soul Wars, it'll go into making mithril bars, and generally I'm going to be doing mithril plus iron and then bronze plus a couple other bars, I guess. God, I cannot escape these awful commissions. Jeez. All right, finally have a decent commission at the end here. 34 plus 22 is pretty great. It's actually might be one of my best possible commissions. I can barely squeeze this out if I make it 24 bronze plus 4 iron. It's not super efficient for the iron, but I don't have much else of a choice. I might want to start filling stash tabs. You can see these little icons on items. That means that this item is used in a stash, and I haven't yet marked that I've already filled that stash. Once I fill it, some of these marks will go away. So we're doing great on time right now. Here's the life split timer. Coming in way ahead of the usual 25-hour, and definitely way better than last time since we spent so much time on processing. So after I finish this last sword, I might go on a stash filling adventure. This nice little plugin tells me whether I have the relevant items in the bank to fill everything. I can just mark everything as full, and then I can have a better sense of whether I actually need to save some of these, right? I would love to just be able to burn more of these in the Giant's Foundry if possible. The last sword was 5,070 smithing XPs. Yeah, I think those molds count for a lot on bronze swords. Even if it's almost a pure bronze alloy, it's not too bad, so gonna definitely keep doing that. We are out of swords, though. Oh, hell yeah. That's gonna be great for next cycle. Right, we're all done with swords. 47k smithing XP is pretty great. Cash stack is basically entirely rebuilt. Giant's Foundry every cycle basically pays for oak planks and then some, so I either come out ahead depending on whether I end up getting coal from Soul Wars or not. I am going to do that thing I was talking about, which is building all of the stashes that I have access to. Fortunately, this only shows me the stashes that I've built, so I know that these are in chunks that I already have access to, so I'm just going to try to take these items out here. Just enough iron bars to make another iron chain body. I need 2 of them, and I've already bought out the stock. Yeah, I've basically bought out everything at Horvik's armor shop, and I don't think I'll be completing that chunk anytime soon. Chain body, a little expensive. Okay, so I've finished filling all the stashes I can possibly fill with my currently banked stuff. Here's a summary of everything that just got filled, and it's removed the little tag from some of these items, right? Like I don't need to worry about bronze axes or leather boots or any of that anymore. I don't think it materially impacts the items that I can use in the Giant's Foundry, because a lot of these are used in multiple stashes, sadly. I guess I can start using iron chain bodies there. I can start using iron full helms. You know, you do things sometimes. That didn't take a ton of time, still 21.5 hours this cycle. Next up is instruction training. I haven't done that at all this cycle, and I'm just going to use the Skull Scepter for it. Give this a try. I just realized that because of the way tool stores work, I can not bring a hammer and saw with me. It'll give me my slots back from the Law Rune and then the Earth Rune, and then I can take them out of the tool store, I think. I'm going to give that a try. I don't think it is actually going to give me any extra trips or save me any Law Runes net, but... Oh yeah, that totally worked. I was able to pull a hammer and saw off the wall and then, you know, remove everything and rebuild them. So as long as I do that as my first thing when I get here, I can bring a couple extra planks per trip. That's nice. I think this is going to be the first cycle where I do not get a construction level. I still have about 7 oak planks that I can use and a handful of regular planks, but I need 1948 XP, so I think I'm not going to hit it, which means I'm not going to be able to make the carved oak magic wardrobe. Incredibly, doing the math, I have exactly enough XP to get to 49. I'm going to get 1044 XP if I make absolutely everything possible, including anything using regular and oak planks. So I will be able to make a carved oak magic wardrobe. That's kind of cool. An extra 6 oak planks. Oh no, you're praising my spreadsheet. I think my math is actually slightly wrong. I'm going to be off by like 4 XP. I need to figure out where the error is in my my documents here, but this is the last thing I can make. I could technically make something if I brought some like clay or limestone bricks here, but it's not worth the law runes. So yeah, we're 4 XP away from 49, and there's nothing I could do about it, really. I'm not going to get to use these 6 oak planks, unfortunately. That's cool. We'll do it next time. That's the end. Let's go sum up the chunk and roll a new chunk. Hey, it's Rick Turpentine again. Knew I was on a interval there. This is punishment for all the genies, I think. Slow scroll through the task list. Let's go. Still not skipping spree attacks. I won't until I'm actually physically able to skip the task. Right now I don't have a choice but to not do it. Really salty about not being able to complete Edgeville because of that stupid Lucian house, but we tried theory crafting a way around it and there isn't one, so I gotta wait for Temple of Ikov. This should actually be done. I didn't pick up the bucket, but I don't need to, so. Happy to have like Varrock Southgate done. Quite exciting. I planted some jute. I haven't harvested yet. I'll get it next cycle. I'm also out of tree seeds. I'm out of acorns. I'm just counting this down every time that I have depletable use. I just don't deplete them to make up for Markingham Hideout done too early. I've already made up for the oaks. So this is me. I skipped U depletion in the lumberyard chunk. So it went from 48 to 45, and now it's going to go from 45 down to 42. So it's going to take me a long time to make up for it, unless if I get more chunks that are depletable. Okay, that's everybody on the task list side of things. I guess let's pause the live split timer and show you that. Oh, well, you probably noticed this earlier when I showed off the live split timer and said I was doing well on time. The reason I was doing well on time is because the live split timer was frozen. That happens very infrequently, but it does lock up occasionally. So I have to use my recording timestamps to kind of deduce what it should actually be. Give me a sec to do that. All right, so that's a little bit more realistic. 24:30, kind of more in line with what I've been expecting from other cycles when I'm not doing a ton of processing skills. So a little bit under 25, pretty good, 6 hours faster than last cycle. Played for a total of 19 days, 23 hours, coming up on 20 days played here soon. Supply usage, overall not too bad. 9 law runes used is probably the big one there. Go ahead and wipe that. Slow scroll of the loot tracker. I did make a couple mistakes here. I'll try to call them out as I see them. I overkilled goats. I need to kill 1 fewer goat next time. The reason I made that mistake, I screwed up tagging one, and the billy goats and the regular goats kind of look the same. They just have different levels, even though they share models, so I was confused by that. Yeah, overkilled. Yeah, I killed 1 extra cow. It's really easy to just click one of them in that pen, and you can't set them to, like, ignore left click because each cow is tracked separately for the menu entry swapper. Everything else I think is fine for this loot tracker. Yeah. Let's actually review the bank here. So new stuff, body tiaras, strawberries, it's compost. I just took it out to make those mud pies. Loop half a key, I replaced my looting bag, and I've got some more desert equipment now. All right, slow scrolling through the bank. Really excited to get Taverley. It's going to be fun when we unlock Herblore. Bank memory plugin. We went down on Law Runes this cycle. They did teleport more than usual. Did a couple teleports to Varrock, but overall it's not that big of a net penalty here. Looks pretty decent. XP, so I actually did all of this in one session this time. I didn't, cross over an update or anything else. I had a bunch of free time, so I was able to stay up over the weekend and play a bit more. So these are my actual XP gains. I guess it's probably a good exercise for me to go ahead and update my spreadsheet XP gains and make sure that they match this. They should. I don't see a reason why they wouldn't, but I'll go ahead and do that now. Everything updated. My spreadsheet matches this, so I'm just going to use this spreadsheet just to be in the habit of it. I don't want to plan on having this XP tracker available, since usually it takes me longer than a week and I end up running over. So let me set that up one sec. Okay, there it is. XP gain for this cycle. Woodcutting still the highest at almost 72k. Strength we're swapping off of onto attack. I guess if we did attack, if that was all on strength, we would be more for melee than we would for woodcutting overall. Staying on attack until like 63 or so. Let's see. Any interesting levels coming up here? Nothing for smithing really until 69. We're done with interesting mining levels, although we should be getting way more mining XP now that I'm going to have access to at least 2, possibly more shooting stars. I have to check the other completed chunks from this cycle if a shooting star can land there. But I would expect to see this about double, maybe a little bit more than that, depending on how many shooting stars I get and how long I'm able to sit there. Agility, next cycle we should be able to hit 27 without too much trouble. Then I can start using agility potions to do the Varrock course early. So that is an exciting level, 27. 45 thieving, we're still looking forward to. Much more realistic now, getting about 7,000 thieving XP per cycle. Previously we were getting like, not that. We were getting like 1,000 per cycle, so that's quite realistic. And other than that, not a lot of exciting level stuff on the horizon, but that's what we're looking at in terms of XP. The next thing I want to show you is the delta. So this is the difference between the XP gain on the previous cycle and the XP gain on this cycle, and that should kind of help us know that things are all right. I should be able to explain any crazy discrepancies in any skills. So let me set that up here. Okay, so there's the delta. This means that I got 21,000 more cooking XP than I did last cycle and 88,000 less firemaking XP. Came in 180k XP less than last cycle, but I also, finished it in 6 fewer hours and spent way less time on processing. In general, this is pretty stable though. Mining was pretty comparable. It's a bit higher because I was able to start on a tier 5 rather than a tier 4 star, so that accounts for the entirety of the difference there. Other than that, this all looks about what I would expect. The extra runecraft XP is mostly coming from variance in the number of talisman drops we get and from being able to make all of those body tiaras. But these other numbers are looking what we expect them to be. These should be plus or minus 1,000 from 0, I think, every cycle, unless if something has really changed. Unless if like the new chunk that we unlocked massively changed something, or we're now able to deplete something we weren't able to deplete before. For example, next time I expect this thieving number to really explode, because I'm going to be able to deplete some guards, and those guards give way more thieving XP per pickpocket than the farmers, men or women, that I can currently deplete. And I guess the only other plugin to show you here, random event timer. I've shown this a couple times, but yeah, it's been special, to say the least. Glad we're done with Dr. Jekyll for now, though. I don't really have any other potions I want from him with the clean herbs that I have access to. I think Avantoe is the next most interesting thing I could get from him, and that gives you a super attack. Maybe it'd be nice to have one of those for, I don't know, if we like roll a Calphite Queen chunk or something, but God willing, that won't happen. Cut to it immediately rolling. Let's look at the chunk picker here. Okie dokie, folks. This is the chunk picker board. I'm still waiting on... I've edited but not yet published the episode about minigame teleports, so those might get added onto the list soon. This is pretty much the same as the previous board, though. The thing that's changed primarily is over here. I would love to get this chunk. I put it as a thumbs up, just because the actual content in the chunk isn't that great, but I want to get as close to Taverley as we can. The monastery is now a crown chunk because it gets us into the Dwarven Mine, and the Dwarven Mine gets us into Keldagrim, the Mining Guild, the Motherlode Mine. It would be great. I would be so happy to roll the monastery. I guess by extension, getting this part of Falador also gets us the same thing, so I suppose these should be tied, but whatever, it's fine. Also still really want Into the Abyss. Want to be able to do Priest in Peril would be great. Port Sarim has a ton of content behind it. Temporos would be wonderful. Lots of things that I'm pretty equally excited about here. And I guess also down here I should mention we rolled the Bedabin camp, which changed very little other than adding this bandit camp, which I think is mostly bad. Let me double check really quick. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, this place is great if you're able to train normally, but I can't, right? I guess I would be able to 100% complete it because there aren't any quests that start there. And I could then access bandit bargains. So I'm probably going to put it as a thumbs down just because it would be a somewhat boring chunk. It would be nice to be able to clear it right away, but kind of wouldn't be super pumped if we got that. But let's do this. Let's roll this chunk. We've kind of had a string of boring things. If I look at the chunk roller history here, right, like, who cares? Who cares? This would be great. Asgardian Road would be great if I could get into the Dwarven Mine, but I can't. Terrible. Boring. Didn't actually count. Kind of doesn't count, just gets us closer to Temporos. Falador Farm was our last interesting chunk, and that was a while ago, so please don't give me another boring one game. I'm begging you. Gonna give me the Calphite Queen. Okay, so this is not an instant reroll. The sand crabs are new. Seaweed is new. Seaweed, actually, that's our first time we get access to seaweed, so now we just need to get access to sand. Up here, which is a very rollable chunk, and we can start doing glass, which would be fantastic. There's also my first ever maple trees here. There's only 11 of them, but I'm going to be able to 100% complete this chunk right when we visit it, assuming there's nothing on the northern boundary that I can't get to. I don't think there is. So yeah, new tree, you know, new access to seaweed. Not the most exciting thing, but not the most boring thing either. I'm not going to say that I'm mad. I don't think so. Do these sand crabs even have any interesting drops? Let me check. So the short answer is not really. They do drop sand, so that'll be cool. We could maybe just make a couple glass things early, you know, not to use it as a training method, but just to get access to making glass items. Glass objects in the player-owned house might matter for something. They also drop caskets, which are kind of cool. So, again, I'm not mad about it. I'm not pumped about it. I feel like I'm owed a really hype chunk here. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye.